So it's fast approaching July 23rd, 2021, and that date would mark my 3rd year anniversary, or vaniversary if you like. Maybe I do too much of that though. I'm fed up contemplating by myself. I need a soulmate. Affected my life, and how maybe it's brought to the forefront something that I've kept buried for some time, and maybe van life is not the most perfect thing for my state of mind. And once I made it through that first winter, there was kind of like a sense of relief, because I knew it was possible I could do it. And you know, I mean, Christ, if I was to do a speed date with someone, you know, can you imagine that speed date? Yeah, I shit in the bag and I live in a van. Yeah, that was kind of my foray into meetups, and after that weekend, van life changed for me massively. Through all of 2020, and where are we now? July of 21. This year and a half of not seeing my children has been probably the hardest thing of all. I nearly did give up on van life. I really did, because I was just really struggling. This was never meant to be a permanent way of life. This was a stopgap. It's just that the stopgap is taking longer than I anticipated. Hello my YouTube lovelies, and welcome to this vlog, 3-year anniversary. I guess this vlog is going to be some kind of look back at the 3 years that I've had, and try as much as possible to look at the positives, but I feel that it's probably going to be filled more with negatives, being the pessimist and negative Nancy that I am. But I guess before I start, I want to read this passage that I found. I wrote this in my van book, and this was written on the 23rd of July 2018. And this was my first night in the van, and it's called First Night and First Thoughts. So as I drove to my first destination, I was filled with a great anxiety and dread, thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing? I was almost in tears, with a great feeling of loneliness and sadness. I stopped at a chip shop. The guy behind the counter asked me what I wanted. I said I did not have much money. He told me to put my change on the counter and said he would see what he could do. I wanted sausage and chips. It came to £3.50. I had that and a little more, so I gave him all my change, probably about £3.90 or so, and he gave me a steak pie as well. I was filled with a little hope and joy here, so went to my first port of call. Got settled, started eating, and within 5 minutes a white Jag pulled up, with someone snooping around. There was a shout or some kind of greeting, where I was met by a man telling me to move on. The road was private. I couldn't stay. So I finished my chips and left. My second place was my number 2 destination, seen as my number 1 spot, came to an abrupt end. I still felt a little on edge, but finished my tea, recorded my first vlog and started to settle in. Not having natural light is difficult, and when I closed the side door, everything seemed a little depressing. However, once I put on my new battery-powered LED, the van felt like a home for the first time. Despite the camping nature of it and having boxes everywhere, I started to settle. As it got dark, I ventured outside for a pee, trying not to be seen by the house across the way. And finally, sat and started to write this first piece. With a small sense of relief, the anxiety levels quietened for a bit, and relaxed to the sounds of passing traffic. It was hot and stuffy to say the least, and both windows were cracked open a little. But let's see what the night brings, hopefully rest and some peace. I'll continue to sit in my chair and contemplate the future ahead. So that was my first entry 3 years ago. And what happened 2018 was me moving into the van, adapting to this new lifestyle, building the van, getting things fitted to it, going into 2019 with discovering a new community, meetups, new people, new friends, rolling into 2020 with this new hope and excitement about doing something quite amazing and continuing those newfound friendships, for all of a sudden the world to shit its pants and this pandemic come along and completely quash and make van life not the most rosiest or happiest of lives. Rolling out of 2020 into 21 with some kind of new hope and trying to look forward, and it just being a really bad start for me on many levels. And here we are 6 months later into 21, finally trying to sort of put my head above the parapet again and get myself back on the radar. So let's look back of 3 years and talk about van life, the ups and downs, the twists and turns, and whether this was a good choice or not, and whether there's another 3 years in me. God knows. I think it's definitely time to shave this beard though, because I'm starting to look like a scarecrow. Enjoy. So yeah, July 23rd, 2018, I remember moving into the van and just being filled with so much anxiety about what laid ahead, but then there was this kind of a bit of an excitement as well. I spent the first 2 weeks of van life camping in the van, and I used that 2-week holiday that I had at work to basically drive to the back of the department to where the workshop is and fitted out the van to what it is today. So built all the furniture, everything, got it all sorted. And then the rest of that summer of 2018, it was just me kind of exploring the van and the possibilities, really. There were no electrics in it, nothing. It was just batteries for lights. I don't even think I used to bring my laptop in the van. Literally would just sort of drive to bar cubs and just read books, hence why there's a bookshelf in the van. But yeah, that 2018 summer was just kind of settling in and just sort of getting into this groove of the van life. I used that first month and a bit of actually finding park ups, so I did a lot of going to, there's a vlog that I did called 40 Days and 40 Nights, and that literally was just going from one park up to another, just sort of exploring where to go, looking at all the available possibilities around the area that I work in. Now and again I'd go to a campsite just for a long weekend. But it's odd actually when I look back to when I first moved into the van and that period of time of not having the luxuries that I've got. And to be fair, I mean, I don't really have luxuries. I mean, now that I've installed the new batteries and got the lights in and everything, it's made my life a lot more comfortable. And I can't fathom how I did it. How I managed to... I mean, I didn't even have the leisure battery in. I didn't even have the power bank. Nothing. So I didn't tour with the laptop. Really bizarre. 2018 kind of, that summer and then coming into the winter went by really quickly, if memory serves me right. I think I was trying to save money and work out what to do, because I know I had this sort of pressure of a winter approaching and still didn't have any heat, didn't have a leisure battery, didn't have solar, all of those things. So these were all things that I had to sort out. I think I got the solar put in end of October, I think it was. It was some time after the motorhome and caravan show at the NEC. And then once that was done, I then got the diesel heater put in. And of course, once those bits were in, then now I have a leisure battery, and there was a USB charging point and a 12-volt socket, so it kind of enabled me to, you know, charge my phone and yeah, another added luxury, but looking back at it compared to what I've got now, really small. And I didn't really use it, to be honest with you. But yeah, 2018, it wasn't that long ago really, 3 years ago, but it's quite a distant memory. It really is. And once I made it through that first winter, it was kind of like a sense of relief, because I knew it was possible I could do it.